Assalamu alaikum, dear students. Today my topic is about the nucleic acids, especially DNA, for class 12th and NEET. So let us start with DNA. Dear students, you know that nucleic acids were first discovered by F. Meischer in 1869 from surgical bandages that contained the nuclei of pus cells. Nuclei of pus cells. From these nuclei of pus cells, Meischer discovered the nucleic acids. And nucleic acids are broadly of two types. One type you call as DNA and the other type you call as RNA. DNA is the deoxyribose nucleic acid. Deoxyribose nucleic acid. Whereas RNA is ribonucleic acid. Ribonucleic acid. And both of these are macromolecules. Out of these, if you first see RNA, ribonucleic acid, it has a sugar that you call as ribose sugar, whereas the DNA contains the sugar that is deoxyribose type of sugar. Both these sugars are actually pentose sugars. Pentose sugar. This is also called as furanose sugar. And number one is ribose sugar out of these two, and the other is deoxyribose type of sugar. This can be represented by the empirical formula C5H10O5, whereas deoxyribose sugar, which is another pentose or furanose sugar, this can be represented by the formula C5H10O4. So in DNA, this type of sugar occurs that you call as deoxyribose type of sugar. Now let us take the components of DNA. You know that DNA double helix molecule, or DNA, we can say in short, it acts as a genetic material for majority of the living organisms. So the components of DNA, there are three important types of components in the DNA molecule. Number one component is this sugar, and you know that the sugar is pentose sugar, and this is of deoxyribose type, which is represented by C5H10O4. Number second component is the nitrogenous bases. These are nitrogen containing compounds, generally called as nitrogenous bases. Okay, now the third type of component is the phosphate, or you can call it as phosphoric acid. So these are the three main types of components which basically constitute DNA. So we will take these one by one. First of all, we will consider this deoxyribose type of sugar. We have a sugar molecule like this. Acid. There are 4 carbon atoms present inside the ring of this pentagon. and one carbon is outside the ring, and there is also one oxygen inside the ring. So this becomes the furanose ring. We can number these carbons as 1 dash, 2 dash carbon, 3 dash carbon, this one, this is the 4 dash carbon, and this is 5 dash carbon. And now this has hydroxyl group, and here hydrogen. Here it has hydrogen and hydrogen, and this has here hydrogen and here hydroxyl group. Here it is hydrogen. Then we will write here CH2OH. So this becomes the structure of deoxyribose type of sugar. Now if you add here one oxygen, that means you have to put a hydroxyl group here at second dash or 2 dash position. This becomes ribose sugar. Since in deoxyribose sugar this oxygen is absent at the 2 dash carbon, that is why it is called as deoxyribose. This has a lot of significance in the stability of DNA. So this is about the pentose sugar, which is deoxyribose type of sugar. Now after this we have the nitrogenous bases. The nitrogenous bases in the DNA are actually nitrogen containing compounds. Nitrogenous bases. These are nitrogen containing substances, and they are divided into two types. Number one type you call as purines. For example, we have adenine and guanine. Adenine is shortly represented by A and guanine shortly represented by G. Then another type of nitrogenous bases is pyrimidines. Pyrimidines. The pyrimidines are further of two types. One type you call as thymine. Thymine. And another type you call as cytosine. Cytosine. This is represented by T, whereas this one is represented by C. So these are actually four types of nitrogenous bases which fall into two categories. Adenine and guanine are purines, whereas thymine and cytosine are said to be pyrimidines. Okay. Now let us first consider these purines. The purines are heterocyclic and dicyclic compounds. Dicyclic compounds. Heterocyclic means there are two different types of atoms in the ring. Dicyclic means there are two rings in which the atoms are arranged. So first of all, we will take into consideration the adenine, structure of adenine, a nitrogenous base or a purine. So you will draw a structure like this. This is one ring and it has an adjacent ring like this. Here we have carbon, nitrogen, here carbon, nitrogen inside the ring. And here carbon, carbon, here nitrogen, and here carbon. And then there are alternate double and single bonds like this. When you have to number a when you have to number a purine, whether it is adenine or guanine, you will start the numbering from this nitrogen, this position. Position number 1, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, then 5th, then 6th. And then this one is the 7th position, 8th position is this one, and this nitrogen here, it is 9th position. Now you will place the side groups or functional groups. Here you have in the adenine NH2 group. You will write it like, put it like NH2. So amine group is here. And here you have hydrogen. Here also you have hydrogen. Here you have hydrogen. So this becomes the structure of adenine. After this, we have to draw the structure of guanine. Guanine is another purine, and likewise it is dicyclic and heterocyclic. So you will draw it like this. The atoms are arranged in two rings: carbon, nitrogen, carbon, nitrogen, carbon, carbon. Here it is nitrogen, nitrogen, carbon. These are the alternate double and single bonds. Here we have double bond O, here we have NH2 group. Here will be H, here also H, and here also H. So this becomes the structure of guanine. You can write the first position, second position, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, and ninth position. So this becomes the structure of guanine. So we have here made the structures of purines. Now we will write the structures of pyrimidines. The pyrimidines in DNA are thymine and cytosine. Both are heterocyclic but monocyclic. That is, the atoms are arranged in one ring only. So they are heterocyclic and monocyclic compounds. Now thymine structure monocyclic hai, only one ring is there. This is carbon, nitrogen, carbon, nitrogen, carbon and carbon. It has here a double bond, here methyl group. This is H. Here H also. Here it has a double bond O, and here also double bond O. This will get H. So this is the structure of thymine, a purine. When you number the positions inside a pyrimidine, inside a pyrimidine ring, you will start the numbering from this position. This is the first position, and then you will run clockwise. That is, this is second, third position, fourth position, fifth, and this one is the sixth position. So this becomes the structure of thymine. Now after this, you have to draw the structure of this cytosine. Cytosine ka structure. Since it is a pyrimidine, it too has a monocyclic structure. Carbon, nitrogen, carbon, nitrogen, carbon, carbon. This has here double bond, and here also a double bond. HH, this is also H. Here it has an NH2 group, amine group, and this is getting the double bond O. Okay, so this is what cytosine structure. So these are the various types of, or I can say the 4 types of nitrogenous bases in the DNA. And one point to be remembered here is that in DNA, a purine always pairs with a pyrimidine, and Among the purines, adenine always pairs with thymine by means of a double hydrogen bond. This bond is here, hydrogen bond. Double hydrogen bond between adenine and thymine. And guanine always pairs with cytosine by means of a triple hydrogen bond. So this is here the base pairing choice of base pairing. That is, adenine always pairs with thymine and guanine always pairs with cytosine. Now let us see this bonding, how the hydrogen bonding can be established between the complementary bases. So if you draw here the structure of adenine, let us draw it again here. This is carbon, nitrogen, carbon, nitrogen, carbon, carbon, nitrogen, nitrogen, here carbon. Adenine has alternate double and single bonds like this. Here it has nitrogen, hydrogen, hydrogen. This becomes NH2 group. I am writing this time it like this. So here you have hydrogen, here H, and here it is H. Okay, this is adenine. It will pair with thymine, monocyclic compound like this. This is thymine. We have carbon, nitrogen, carbon, nitrogen, carbon, carbon. Here double bond. Here we have double bond O, double bond O. This will get hydrogen and this also gets hydrogen here. However, here we have methyl group and here hydrogen. This is the structure of thymine. This oxygen being more electronegative, it will get a slight delta negative charge. Whereas here nitrogen is more electronegative, it will get a negative charge and the hydrogen is bonded to it. Each of them will get a positive charge, slight positive charge. So this positively charged hydrogen and this negatively charged oxygen between these two bases will develop a hydrogen bond. And such a chance is also present here. Nitrogen being more electronegative in nature will get slight delta negative charge. And this hydrogen which is bonded here to this hydrogen which is bonded here to this nitrogen gets a slight delta positive charge. So a hydrogen bond will be established between this nitrogen and this hydrogen. So two hydrogen bonds are developed between adenine and thymine. There is no other such site where we could develop a hydrogen bond between these two, adenine and thymine. So in DNA they ensure a double hydrogen bond, so that we will write adenine is bonded to thymine by means of a double hydrogen bond. Okay, now in the case of guanine and cytosine, there is a triple hydrogen bond. So guanine, you will draw it here like this: carbon, nitrogen, carbon, nitrogen, carbon, carbon, nitrogen, nitrogen, carbon. Guanine has here double bond O, and here it has NH2 group. here hydrogen, hydrogen, and here also hydrogen. So this is the structure of guanine. And we will draw here cytosine. It is complementary base, which is a pyrimidine. This has carbon, carbon, nitrogen, carbon, nitrogen, carbon. Here double bond, here also a double bond. Here will be present NH2, here double bond O, NH, H, H. So this is the structure of cytosine. Now you see, being oxygen more electronegative, getting a slight negative charge. This hydrogen, one of the hydrogens you will take here, it has a slight what? Positive charge. Establishment of a hydrogen bond will be there. This hydrogen which is bonded to nitrogen here is delta positive in charge, and this nitrogen is what? Negative charged, delta negative. So a chance of establishment of hydrogen bond between them. And now here take one of the hydrogens, delta positively charged, and this oxygen being more electronegative is delta negative charged. They will establish a bond. So three hydrogen bonds are formed between guanine and cytosine. That's why we represent this as G triple bond C. Three hydrogen bonds are here established. So this is the choice of base pairing in DNA. So in general we can say in DNA a purine always pairs with a pyrimidine, and especially adenine pairs with thymine by means of a double hydrogen bond, and guanine pairs with cytosine by means of a triple hydrogen bond. Okay, now let us come to sugar molecule, which is deoxyribose type of sugar in what? DNA. This is the sugar, pentose sugar, which is deoxyribose type of sugar. Here carbon, 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 and one carbon is outside. We will write it as CH2OH. This is, I told you, 1 dash. We add the primes to the numbers in the case of sugar in order to differentiate these carbons from the carbons present in the nitrogenous bases or any other substance. That is why we add priming. 1 dash prime, 2 dash prime, 3 dash prime, and this is 4th prime, 5th prime. These are positions of carbon. Here I told you it is hydroxyl group, and here it is hydrogen. Here hydrogen and hydrogen. Here hydrogen and hydroxyl group. Here hydrogen, and then there is CH2OH. So this is the structure of deoxyribose type of sugar. If you attach a nitrogenous base with the sugar molecule in DNA, you have to attach that nitrogenous base at this first carbon, 1 dash carbon of the sugar. Now we have 4 types of nitrogenous bases, and these 4 types of nitrogenous bases are adenine and guanine. Then there is thymine and cytosine. So these two, upper two, adenine and guanine, these are purines, whereas thymine and cytosine, these are pyrimidines. Any purine will react and get attached to carbon position 1 dash of the sugar by means of its 9th position. Ninth position is that position which contains nitrogen, NH. So if you draw here any purine, let us take a purine like this. This is the ninth position. And here it is NH, ninth position. Of what? Purine. It can be adenine or guanine. This hydrogen and this hydroxyl group, they come out in the form of a molecule of water. That is, there occurs a reaction called as condensation. And this condensation ejects a molecule of water. And when a molecule of water is here ejected, a bond is established between this nitrogen of purine and this carbon 1 of the sugar deoxyribose. This is that bond. And you will call this bond as glycosidic bond. Basically, glycosidic bond is CNC. This nitrogen is here attached to carbon, then this nitrogen, and then here we have another carbon. So this is purely what bond? Glycosidic bond. You will call this as glycosidic bond. Glycosidic bond is established between the purine and the deoxyribose sugar. Purine can be either adenine or guanine. And when a nitrogenous base is attached to the sugar, it forms a nucleoside. It forms a nucleoside. So nucleoside is actually a combination of nitrogenous base with the sugar molecule. Okay, so this was about adenine and guanine. Now if this is a pyrimidine, either thymine or cytosine, they will come by means of their position number 1 and get attached here. Suppose here the sugar has hydroxyl group. Now you will bring any of the pyrimidines. Pyrimidine here has the position number 1. It is nitrogen having H. Similarly, this H will come out in the form of water molecule. Water will be ejected and condensation will occur. And a glycosidic bond is hence again established in this case. This bond, glycosidic bond, it will attach a pyrimidine with the sugar. Again, what is formed? A nucleoside is formed. Now the question is, what is actually a nucleoside and what are its types? If you see, 4 types of nucleosides are possibly formed in the DNA because DNA contains 4 types of nitrogenous bases in it. And a nucleoside is actually a combination of sugar with the nitrogenous base. So nucleosides in DNA, number 1 is deoxyadenosine. Number 2 is deoxyguanosine. Number 3 is deoxythymidine. And number 4 is deoxycytidine. These are 4 types of nucleosides. If any nucleoside gets a phosphoric acid or phosphate, inorganic phosphate, inorganic phosphate, if combines with a nucleoside, it will convert itself into a nucleotide. So nucleotide contains 3 units: sugar and nitrogenous base and the phosphate. So we can say nucleoside plus phosphate makes nucleotide. And accordingly, nucleotides can be of 4 types, because we have 4 types of nucleosides, and they can generate 4 types of nucleotides. The 4 types of nucleotides which can be formed in DNA are: number 1, deoxyadenylic acid. Deoxyadenylic acid, or you can call it as deoxyadenylate, or you can call it as deoxyadenosine monophosphate. Deoxyadenosine monophosphate. Similarly, the second one will be called as deoxyguanylic acid. Guanylic acid, or deoxyguanylate, or deoxyguanosine monophosphate. Then third type of nucleotide, that will be deoxycytidylic acid. Deoxythymidylic acid. Thymidylic acid, or deoxythymidylate, or deoxythymidine monophosphate. Deoxythymidine monophosphate. Then fourth type of nucleotide, it will be deoxycytidylic acid. Cytidylic acid, or you can call it as deoxycytidylate, or deoxycytidine monophosphate. Deoxycytidine monophosphate. So these are 4 types of nucleotides. Now let us draw here one of the nucleotides. We will draw a specimen of a nucleotide. For that purpose, we will first of all draw here a deoxyribose sugar molecule. Like this, we are drawing it. Sugar, this is carbon, 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 and here you will write CH2OH. Here you have a nitrogenous base. Nitrogenous base, it can be either adenine or guanine or cytosine, or it can be thymine. And here you have H, here HH, here HOH, third carbon pe. This is 3' position. This is 4' position. Here you have H. This is 5' position. 5' carbon. So this is CH2OH. And now we have to attach, this is nitrogenous base plus sugar. They have formed so far what? Nucleoside. And we want to attach with this nucleoside what? A phosphoric acid. And phosphoric acid, that will be attached here at this 5th carbon. You write phosphoric acid as H3PO4. This is phosphoric acid. So we have to attach that phosphoric acid here. We will write first CH2OH. This is H. Now we have to accommodate here phosphate or phosphoric acid. Let us draw it. POH, OH, this is OH, double bond O. This is the phosphoric acid. This hydroxyl group here will react with this hydrogen and they will form a molecule of water, that is condensation will occur, and there will be establishment of a bond between this oxygen and this carbon. That is, we have to draw that bond like this. First of all, the water is removed here. Now you are establishing a bond. ये ऑक्सीजन बीच में है और ये कार्बन फिफ्थ of the sugar or this phosphate of the phosphoric acid, इनके दरमियान रह गया ऑक्सीजन. And this bond you will call as phosphoester bond. Phosphoester bond. By means of this phosphoester bond, phosphate was attached with the nucleoside, thereby converting the nucleoside into a nucleotide. We got a nucleotide. So nucleotide has three units: sugar, nitrogenous base, and phosphate. Now, any nucleotide has a polarity. It has two distinct ends. At one end it has phosphate, and that is fifth carbon position that contains the phosphate. And here the third carbon position contains hydroxyl group. So these two will be considered as two ends of the nucleotide, and thus we say the nucleotide has a polarity. The polarity of this nucleotide will be written as 5-P 3-OH, like this. 5-P 3-OH is the polarity of this nucleotide. Now, keeping this thing in view, that is the polarity of a nucleotide 5-P 3-OH, keeping this polarity into consideration, what we can do, we can now arrange the various nucleotides in the similar fashion, that is having the same polarity. When we arrange them, we will get a polynucleotide chain, and that polynucleotide chain, for example, I will draw here one nucleotide. Suppose this has a nitrogenous base adenine, and here at the fifth carbon it has OP, OH, OH, here double bond O. Is it clear? So PO, then C. This is said to be phosphoester bond. And here we have OH group at the third position of the sugar. So this is a nucleotide having the polarity 5-P 3-OH, like this. This is the polarity. Another nucleotide, this is suppose nucleotide that contains the adenine. You will call this nucleotide as deoxyadenylic acid or deoxyadenylate or deoxyadenosine monophosphate. It is the name of this particular or specific type of nucleotide. Now take another nucleotide of the same polarity. Polarity must be same. Here you will keep guanine. Here hydroxyl group at third position, and here you have CH2OP, OH, OH double bond O. Is it clear? This is 5-P 3-OH. Yani same polarity is present in this next nucleotide, that is nucleotide number 2. Now, when you are arranging these two nucleotides with same polarity and same direction, you can here take this hydroxyl group and the hydrogen of this. They will eject as water molecule. एक water molecule निकल के एक bond establish हो जाता है between this 3rd carbon and P, and oxygen remains between them. So this bond P-O-C, it is a phosphoester bond. Phosphoester bond. But here you have already a phosphoester bond like this one, PO-C. So if you combine this phosphoester bond and this phosphoester bond, they are two phosphoester bonds. They are what? Two phosphoester bonds. And this will be called as phosphodiester bond. इस बॉन्ड को आप बोलोगे आप phosphodiester bond, that is here formed. And this phosphodiester bond has linked two nucleotides together to form a dinucleotide. And if you see the polarity of this dinucleotide, it is 5-P and here 3-OH. So the dinucleotide has same polarity. Similarly, you can take further nucleotides in this fashion, like this. Here you have suppose thymine, nitrogenous base attached to this. This is the 3-OH group of this. This is CH2, here O-P, then OH, OH, double bond O. So this is another nucleotide having the polarity 5-P, 3-OH. And you can combine this dinucleotide with this new nucleotide by means of a bond by ejection of water molecule between these two, and a bond that is newly formed is this phosphoester bond. And here is another phosphoester bond already established. So again what is formed is a phosphodiester bond. So two phosphodiester bonds are needed to link together three nucleotides. Thus we made trinucleotide. The trinucleotide too has the same polarity 5-P, 3-OH. And by means of repeating this, you can now join many nucleotides, hundreds and thousands of nucleotides by means of phosphodiester bonds to create a polynucleotide chain. Now, if you have this one polynucleotide chain, you say that it has a direction of growth like this. It grows from 5- to 3-, 5-P to 3-OH, here downwards. Here it grows downwards. So this is one strand of the DNA or one polynucleotide chain of the DNA. But DNA has actually two polynucleotide chains that are complementary to each other. And they also run in anti-parallel directions. That is, they have, what I mean to say, they have opposite chemical polarity. So let us draw here in simple terms. This is phosphate, this is sugar, this is what? Nitrogenous base. And this is a phosphodiester bond, acid. Then you have here sugar. Then you have here nitrogenous base of this of its own. Then again you have a phosphodiester bond. Then here another nucleotide like this. Then still another nucleotide, and then still another nucleotide. These are phosphodiester bonds that I am drawing here. And here it is 3-OH, 3-OH, and this P is here 5-P. So this is a polynucleotide chain that runs from 5- to 3- downwards here. Now let us suppose here we have adenine, here we have guanine as nitrogenous base, here we have thymine as nitrogenous base, here we have cytosine as nitrogenous base, and here suppose again guanine as nitrogenous base. This was a polynucleotide chain. Now we want to draw another polynucleotide chain which will be complementary to this one. But in that chain we have to invert